Cherno Enigma is the newest character in the Snowbreak roster. He is a damage dealer that excels at mobbing and single target. She uses a very uncommon weapon type and provides unique but effective playstyles. However, there's some details to her that can be confusing at first. My goal in this video is to cover everything you need to know about Cherno in order to get the most value from her. With that out of the way, let's begin. Enmity is Cherno's most defining passive. It frequently appears in her kit, and for a good reason. Enmity is a stacking debuff that inflicts damage over time. The more stacks a target acquires, the more damage they will take. Enmity has a limit of 300 stacks, and you can see how close you are to max stacks based off the crescent moon meter. Enmity can be inflicted through a variety of ways, but the most common way is by shooting a target. Her Duos alignment will inflict 2 stacks of Enmity each time she shoots an enemy, and deal more damage with additional alignment index. Just keep the word Enmity in your mind throughout this video, because it will be brought up a lot. Soul's Bane is Cherno's standard skill. When using this skill, you will place down a void that pulls in targets and deals damage. You can create up to 3 of these, as seen in the square icons in the bottom left corner of the screen. When the voids are created, it will inflict 30 stacks of Enmity on the target. See, we already brought it back up. These voids will also deal 1 more stack of Enmity every second. Sadly, this doesn't stack, so 3 voids touching 1 enemy won't provide 3 stacks a second. You can even trigger them while the skill is on cooldown. These explosions can inflict insane damage depending on how many stacks of Enmity are on the target. There's also an additional explosion around Cherno for a grand total of 4 hitboxes. However, keep in mind this explosion does not stack with each other. Each enemy can only take 1 instance of damage. So, if you're fighting a boss, just make sure they're near one of the voids or by Cherno. These explosions will clear all stacks of Enmity and refund 12 S energy per void. The Neuron skills on Soul's Bane are absolutely cracked. If the target has a maximum of 300 Enmity stacks when the void explodes, it will deal an additional 20% final damage. This is paramount that you get the max 300 stacks of Enmity before detonating against a boss. The other Neuron skill turns the biggest weakness of submachine guns into a strength. When Cherno has a chaos weapon equipped, any shot that is deflected by ricochet will inflict 2 stacks of Enmity. Submachine guns are affected by ricochet the most, but this Neuron skill completely changes that by skewing the Enmity stock market. Every one of Cherno's manifestations will improve her voids and Enmity in some way. Her first manifestation will provide a 60% chance to add extra stacks of Enmity when they're shot near a void. Her second manifestation is her biggest power spike. This will add 10% more final damage to her explosion based on how many voids are on the field. This basically means you can get up to 30% more final damage during detonations. Her third and fourth manifestations only add a tiny percent of extra damage. The fifth manifestation is mostly just for shaving seconds off boss speedruns. In short, if an enemy doesn't die during a max Enmity explosion, they will be reapplied with 50 stacks of starting Enmity within 2 seconds. most players should stop at her second manifestation, since it provides the biggest spike in value. Rising Ray is Cherno's support skill. You probably won't use the skill very much, but it's still pretty solid. It applies slow, which means you can run the Navigator squad so targets take 14% extra damage. It's very similar to 4-star Acacia. It also does a decent amount of damage. It can still serve a purpose during multiplayer wave modes. Its Neuron skills increase its size and make it easier to inflict more damage. But there's not much more noting here, since it has nothing to do with Enmity. Moonlight Annihilation. This ultimate hurts. Cherno will cast an AoE attack, and its damage will be 1000% of Cherno's attack, which is a bit excessive. On top of that, Cherno will inflict targets with 100 extra stacks of Enmity, and we like Enmity. Her Neuron skills are also pretty powerful. If there's less than 3 voids on the field, the ultimate will summon voids until the limit is reached. This ultimate is best used when you have no voids in place, so it can automatically place 3 down for you. The other Neuron skill will inflict a slow debuff as a bonus. D-Sun has a trend where the event logistics is usually the best in slot for the new character. This continues to track with the Dizaddy squad. Cherno will get the most value from this logistics, and shouldn't really use anything else. On this set, we're looking for 3 specific stats: attack percent, alignment index, and chaos damage. Attack percent takes a higher priority than index. 3 10% pieces with chaos damage will suffice, unless you really want to go the extra mile. For weapons, I need to correct myself first. In my last video, I said if you tiered 5 Halo of Hope, that it would be more powerful than 100 Battle Veteran. However, after more testing from players, it turned out this wasn't true. Both Tier 1 and Tier 2 Battle Veteran are slightly stronger than the Tier 5 event weapon, but not by much. They're all very close in power, unlike her signature weapon, Uninvited Adieu. This gun is absolutely insane. It also gets one of the biggest spikes in power when you get it up to Tier 2, unlike many other 5-star weapons. It increases your chaos damage, increases your damage from Enmity, and will provide you with a stackable buff that increases Cherno's attack further. Really is no competition from her signature weapon to Battle Veteran or Halo of Hope. It is extremely powerful and worth investing into. This also isn't including the fact that its magazine size has a whopping 80 bullets, making it easier to inflict Enmity stacks. For Neuronic priority, you want to max out her standard skill first, followed by her ultimate, and then lastly, her support skill. You'll want to max all these out eventually, as each node will increase Cherno's alignment index by 50, and alignment index increases the damage of her Enmity. Cherno is a very selfless DPS character that brings out her full kit without having to rely on others too much. She has plenty of options to bring out her potential for both new and veteran players. Redacted can use the Navigator squad. She can apply a slow debuff that allows Cherno to do 14% more damage. She can use Prismatic Igniter to provide attack buffs, and her kit naturally brings ultimate charge for Cherno to work with. 4-star Marion can finally be the chaos support she always wanted to be. Her support skill lowers chaos resistance by 20%. She can also use Disco Confusion, which lowers chaos resistance up to 12%. You can also run the Twilight Squad to lower chaos resistance by a grand total of 48%. Although only for 5 seconds, so make it count. 4-star Shinshin can provide healing and buff Cherno's skill damage more so long as she stays within the aura from her support skill. S provides more damage overall and can rush Cherno to her ultimate quicker than any other character. Kaguya fits on any team, and this is no exception. Kaguya can lower the resistance of all enemies and provide crowd control to help make detonations easier. If you invest into Echo, she can provide even more healing and buffs than 4-star Shinshin. Lastly, 5-star Boxer ramps up Cherno's ballistic damage by a large amount by shooting Vidal. Shooting a stationary target makes it easier to get Enmity stacks. Cherno and her weapon are amazing. She excels at both mobbing and bossing without being too reliant on other supports. She is a character that can augment your account as a new or veteran player. She also does this while using what used to be one of the weakest weapon types in the game. She sets a good standard and a hopeful future for upcoming submachine gun users. If you have a question I didn't cover, be free to post it in the comments below. If you want an answer faster, you can stop by our Twitch and say hello. And if you really want to support the channel, be free to leave a like or subscribe. It motivates me that people want more. And as always, take care.